And welcome back to the Cabbage Patch. I'm Dad.
I'm Tommy.
And I'm Gus.
And today we played
Fire
Tower. This is the third firefighting game that we played, except for instead of us working together to try to put the fire
We
out,
tried to kill each other.
you're trying to blow each other up. So each player is in one of these corners, which represents a fire tower, and the flames are spreading all over the forest, and you're trying to prevent the flames from getting into your fire tower here in the corner and make the flames go to your opponent's fire towers. And the way that you lose is if one of these fire gems that are placed on the board every turn through cards or through the first part of the turn action, if you get a fire gem in your little red corner here, you're out of the game. And your corner is replaced with this tile that shows that everything's on fire. It's for 4 players. I think it plays a little better at 4 players, but we only played 3. So when you have less than 4 players, you take the other side of this fire tile and place it down there so that the board is contiguous with the forest. It's a pretty easy game to play. You get a deck of these cards. We forgot to get a card at the end of it, so we'll talk about that in a second. You get a deck of these cards. Each player gets 5 cards. They have a 5-card hand through the game. Every turn, you roll at the beginning of the game. You roll this dice, and it tells you what the wind direction is, west. And this is a little redundant.
Every turn?
No, at the beginning of the game, rather. At the beginning of the game, you roll the dice to establish the wind direction, and then the first player places a fire gem, this thing, on the map in the wind direction from an existing fire. So when it's here in the middle, when that's the only fire that's there, you have to place a fire gem to the west of what they call the eternal flame, which is this bit in the middle that's on fire. And then there are cards that change the wind direction as you play. There are cards that put fire out. There are cards that place these fire break tokens, right? So flames can't go past the fire breaks. So if you can see here on my corner, I've got fire breaks that I had been placing through the game via cards that let you do it to try to prevent the fire from getting to my corner. I was not ultimately successful. Gus was the one who burned us both out, and he was very, very proud of that. So let's turn that back over, right? Because that was that, right? There's a couple of things that make the game more dramatic. There's one card in here that's called a firestorm, which lets you put a whole bunch of fire out at one time.
Yes.
There are cards that let you place fire in any directions of your choosing, explosions and fire snags and burning snags rather. And what was the one that does a straight line? A flare up. And those let you ignore the wind direction and place fire in any direction you want, so long as it's what they call orthogonally adjacent to an existing fire, which means in the boxes right next to, but not diagonal to, an existing fire. Right. Mm-hmm. Once fire gets into your little fire tower down here, you have sort of a fail safe, and you can use this thing called a bucket to get rid of some of it. But that's the only way you can get fire out of there. So once fire is in your tower, you got a real problem, right? A lot of changing of the wind. It's very competitive. It plays really fast. I think this most recent game was 26 minutes. So it's a pretty fast game. The box promises 15 to 30. We probably could have ended it sooner by being even meaner, but we played it out. And that's it. You get a hand of cards, you play the cards, you play a fire gem, you play a card, you draw a new card, next guy goes, play a gem, play a card, draw a new card. When a player is knocked out, the thing that we didn't quite do right, and I just realized it, is they put this little token down here so that it shows that their fire tower is gone. 2, they invoke what they call that firestorm, which means a whole bunch of fire gets put down. So they roll for a new wind direction, and then a whole bunch of gems get put on the board. 3, the cards that Tommy has in his hand go to Gus, and Gus gets to pick the best ones. And then 4, everybody gets a 6th card. We forgot to do that, so we would have had one more card in our hands after Tommy died. So we were playing with a slight deficit for no particularly good reason.
I still won though.
You still won, and you probably still would have won because you had even more cards. And that's it. It plays really fast, and it's I think it's a lot of fun. And that's it. It is competitive, so you get some sore feelings if you get burned out, get ganged up on. And I think it's naturally you have to gang up on people when there are 3 players, so that's probably not the most exciting part of it, right? Right. With 4 players,
unless you attacked me and I attacked him.
right. If there are 4 players, there's a little more sort of maybe I team up, maybe I don't. But with 3 players, it kind of has to be, well, once the fire starts going towards Tommy, we got to just keep sending it that way. Because we want to knock Tommy out so that we can finish and duel ourselves. This is, I think, the 3rd time that we played it, so it's cool.
Unless I draw a firestorm and send everything towards someone else.
Exactly. This is true. This is true. So, what did you like about it, Gus?
Everything.
Anything particular? What did you like about it? Like, there's a whole bunch
I
of
like
stuff
it.
going on.
I like it when you get like a code that is super good.
Like a super, like an explosion card or a burning
Yeah,
snag.
and I also like seeing all this fire just placed up. There's also a lot of it, so in case you lose any of it.
Yeah, there is a lot of these fire gems, and I think Tommy pointed out that it looks like the Volcar gem from
The Heart of Volcar.
the Heart of Volcar from
Fireball.
Island,
Which
which
we
is
should
fun,
play again.
Which we should play again. I actually got this. It was an eBay purchase. I did pay money for this one instead of getting it for free or for cheap, and it came with all the expansions, and there are expansions that let you do stuff with Firehawks, which will pick gems up and place them somewhere else on the game board. So maybe we'll try that next time. And expanded water buckets, and then it adds rules for solo play and rules for a 5th player. And as I understand it, the 5th player is the guardian of the forest, so the 5th player is trying to prevent the fires from happening rather than burn everybody out, or rather at least knock the other players out. So
There's also this really cool.
yeah, this eternal flame thing came as part of one of the expansions. It's just an upgraded token so that you can see the fire, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I too like the. Can you put that back, please?
Yes.
Like seeing all the stuff on the board. It ends up looking pretty cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Thomas? What did you like? I know that you didn't like the competitive aspect.
The fire tokens.
The fire tokens. Yeah.
I also liked how it's random every time, just like a real fire.
It's not random every time. You're putting things in the direction of the wind.
Putting it in a different direction every time you play, it's random.
I see. So it can be the first time you play it's west, and the next time you play it might start at north, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool. I think the fire moving mechanic is kind of cool too. Like you have to place a gem in the direction of the wind, and then you can play one of these cards and do something more interesting. It's a very tactile game. It's the pieces are cool, and they make cool patterns. Anything else? No. It is a competitive game, so you can get some sore feelings if you get knocked out or get ganged up on. So that's something to be mindful of. Pay attention to the cards. The cards basically tell you what you need to do every time you do it. There's a couple of things about the fire breaks that you can't put 2 of these purple tokens immediately next to each other unless it's a specific card that lets you do that. So they have to be spread out so that there are always gaps in the fire line. And that's it. Ready to give it a score? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Gus, you're the one.
3.
So that means we're going to play it again because you like it.
Yep.
All right. So we shall consider that. Thomas?
2.
Solid 2?
Yeah.
I think it's solid 2. I prefer the cooperative firefighting games, but this has a lot going for it, and it's a lot shorter than the other 2 that we played. Hot Shots and I've forgotten the name of the other firefighting game.
Hot Shots and
Flashpoint. Hot Shots and Flashpoint. So I think I like the cooperative games a little bit better, but this is cool, and it's got I really do like the pieces. So that means that it's 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7, right? And that's a pretty good score.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. Well, are we ready to do the outro, or anything else we want to add before we go?
Ready to do the outro.
Ready to do the outro.
Subscribe, like, hit that bell, Tommy.
Leave a comment if you want.
Eat plenty of cabbages. Not us, though.
I don't have a joke.
Yeah.
Because these are burnt cabbages.
Oh, those are burned cabbages. Yes, I guess there were a couple of burned cabbages at the end of that game. All right. Well, thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
I just realized. I just,
Okay, bye.
Bye.